I think at the heart of this project is a strong cross-section of information, education, technology, but I also think that the project is capable of leveraging a criticism on the experience of museums today. I think that it is now in a position to present and offer a unique approach to exhibits, a unique approach to information, which is virtual, or both virtual and real. And that combination, I think, is very strong, very powerful. The ability to alter and access information in a museum that you think is important at that moment, either for a class of children or for yourself, or to download and take back to school, or to share with a colleague. I think that kind of interaction in a museum is unique, and we're very much looking forward to pursuing that at a very high level.
The first floor of the building as you walk in is a large open space that will be transformed into a completely digital almost like a virtual environment that you can move through. Actually, on the second floor in the back half of the building, there's this really great auditorium that extends for 2 stories as you move in, capable of seating about 500 people. The first floor in the auditorium will be transformed to be able to house the technology that Gordon had been talking about, where we'll be creating spaces that will allow visitors to interact with surfaces, with the building itself, with the information that's transmitted through the building in a way that I don't think any space has been designed to allow that kind of thing before. You know, as you're walking in, the third floor, which was Petrillo's office suite, has some interesting features. Probably the most surprising is when you walk into Petrillo's office and go over to the windows and actually feel those windows. All the windows in the main office and this side room have bulletproof glass. Now, how many conductors do you know that actually need bulletproof glass on their windows? And that clearly Petrillo had some interesting friends. And in the boardroom, there's a large table that was original to Petrillo's time, and the drawers in the table have locks on them, and apparently that's where you would lock your gun when you'd come for meetings of the association or whoever met in that room. There's also an escape route from that room in case people that you didn't want finding you were coming into the building. You could actually be up a little stairway across a catwalk across the roof and down into the alley before they'd ever even make it into the space. It's perfect for our use. We've got exhibit area on the first floor. We've got a large auditorium so that we can have performances, events, as well as use that space for larger exhibits when there aren't events being held. A large immersive environment, for example, like a virtual reality cave that users could actually pass through. One of the objectives here was to create a space that plays a role in this new kind of museum, because the satellite museum project, and this is going to be the first of a series of satellites around the country, because they're really centered around a digital version of the collection in Washington, we had a different set of objectives when we were looking at the space and how to design it, because we weren't thinking about having a lot of cases and places where physical artifacts would be stored, but instead we were thinking of the museum as an interactive display and an interactive environment that could be dynamic and changing, that could track the user as the user moves through the space. And that actually created a lot of interesting flexibility in terms of thinking about how you would design that space, and actually how we could actually integrate the the environmental features that we wanted to include in the building and tie that back into the information that users would actually be viewing.